Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque says Thursday, April 30, essential work and small religious gatherings are now allowed in places under General Community Quarantine or GCQ.
Pero ngayon po, yung mga essential work gatherings and religious activities po pwede na pong magpatuloy provided merong social distancing na at least 2 meters. Provided also po na mandatory ang pagsuot ng face mask, face shield, other facial protective equipment.
Interior Secretary Eduardo Año says mass gatherings are still prohibited, but he does not define the number of people considered as mass. Roque also clarifies the elderly can still leave their homes for essential tasks or if their jobs are considered essential.
Sa mga lolo-lola, hindi naman po kayo completely kulong. Pero, ulitin ko po, sa pag-aaral, especially vulnerable po ang mga elderly.
Trade Secretary Ramon Lopez adds elderly people are also allowed to go out of their homes if they need medical checkups and procedures. Meantime, local officials who fail to fully release emergency subsidies to poor families in their areas are in danger of facing criminal charges. The Social Welfare Department says as of April 28, only 46 billion pesos out of the 100 billion pesos earmarked for April had been disbursed to 8.8 million families. That is just 48.7% of the 18 million qualified beneficiaries. Roque also says Thursday, areas under General Community Quarantine after April 30 would no longer receive subsidies from the government. Meanwhile, Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship Joey Concepcion says Filipinos should learn how to exist with the novel coronavirus, as there would likely be no cure soon. He adds, the poor may have better immunity than sheltered people. Concepcion says Wednesday, quote, maybe because the poor are so used to so much exposure that they have a better immunity than us, who are sheltered in a well-protected environment. But in a phone call with the Rappler, Concepcion says he was only sharing what he heard from priests, and that the press may have taken him out of context. As of Thursday, April 30, there are 8,488 cases of COVID-19 in the Philippines, with 568 deaths and 1,043 recoveries. 2019 bar top-notcher Bicolana May Diana Azores is a jeepney driver's daughter with a heart for public service.
I have a special connection with labor law. I really enjoyed studying labor law. So, if given the chance, I'd like to make it as an advocacy to help the employees who are being deprived of their rights and their benefits.
She finished law from University of Santo Tomas College of Law in Legazpi City and is now a finance analyst at the local office of the Commission on Audit. As certified public accountant, Azores was a working student while in law school. Before she joined COA, she worked at the Bicol office of the Department of Social Welfare and Development. A video of student Franz Berdida who hiked a small mountain in their hometown in Masbate trends online. Berdida is taking up engineering at the Mapua University. She says she and her brother walked for at least an hour just to get a stable internet connection so that she could send a class requirement to her professor. But she clarifies the class requirement was not yet due. She just wants to move on from the task and do other things. As the entire Luzon and other parts of the Philippines remain on lockdown, several schools opted to proceed with online classes. Quezon City local government suspends its officials caught on video mauling and dragging fish vendor Michael Rubuya for failing to wear a face mask and not bringing a quarantine pass on April 27. The local government also drops its complaint against Rubuya as it proceeds with investigating its officials. This means Rubuya walks free. The local government even vows to provide for his needs. A clip shows quarantine violators in Liliu town in Laguna being told to reenact their offenses while being recorded on video. Behind the camera, someone can be heard directing them to put on a better performance.
Sige, magsaranggo lang Feelings.
Rappler sources believe the person recording the videos was Liliu Police Station Commander Raymond Osea. Rappler reached out to Osea, but he has not given his comment yet. Meantime, Bayan Muna Iloilo coordinator Jory Porquia is shot dead by unidentified armed men in his home in Iloilo City early Thursday. His son Lian writes on Facebook, "They killed my father mercilessly. 9 gunshots to kill him. 9. He was alone. He was defenseless." He says his father was killed when all he wanted was to help the poor. He says Porquia survived martial law and has gone in and out of prison because he, quote, fought for other people's rights. Porquia led relief operations and education campaigns on COVID-19 in the poor communities in Iloilo City. Nearly half of the entire global workforce is in immediate danger of having their livelihoods destroyed by the coronavirus pandemic in the second quarter of 2020. The International Labor Organization warns the risk falls on workers in the informal economy, numbering around 1.6 billion people globally. The report says workers in the informal economy lack basic protections, no possibility to work from home, and no income during the lockdown. Without wages, they cannot eat. In Britain, the death toll from the coronavirus outbreak jumps to 26,097 on Wednesday, April 29, the second highest in Europe behind Italy and third highest in the world. Despite this, Britons are urged to join a national sing-along from their doorsteps to mark the 75th anniversary of VE Day. May 8 is the day the Nazis surrendered and marked the end of World War II in Europe. In Indonesia, people are soaking up the sun like never before in the hope it will ward off coronavirus. The fad is driven by unfounded claims on social media that sunlight and the vitamin D it supplies can slow or kill the virus. Experts say exposure to direct sunlight is good to get vitamin D, but will not prevent the disease. Meantime, US scientists hail a potential breakthrough in the coronavirus fight, as a trial shows patients responding to an antiviral drug. The medical news was enough to propel a rebound on Wall Street. A clinical trial of the drug remdesivir shows that patients recovered over 30% more quickly than those on a placebo. Anthony Fauci, the top US scientist in the fight against infectious diseases, who oversaw the study, says the trial shows that a drug can block this virus. Senior World Health officials declined to weigh in on the latest findings, saying they have not reviewed the complete study. In a quarterly update, Facebook reports a sharp jump in usage, sparking a rally in shares which climbed some 10%. Ranks of monthly active users grew 10% to 2.6 billion for its core Facebook social network, while its family of apps that include Instagram and WhatsApp hit 3 billion. Facebook reports a profit of $4.9 billion on revenue that grew 17% to $17.4 billion during the first 3 months of this year. Similarly, Microsoft says its profits rose sharply in the last quarter as it scrambled to keep its customers connected during the coronavirus lockdowns. The tech giant says profits in the quarter rose 22% from a year ago to $10.8 billion, prompting a rise in shares by 3% in after-hours trade. Chief Executive Satya Nadella says, "We've seen 2 years' worth of digital transformation in 2 months." The most valuable tech firm in the world says it was forced to adapt quickly as businesses and consumers moved into lockdown due to the global health emergency. Microsoft offers products and services that are helping organizations get through the crisis. Patrick Moorhead of Moore Insights and Strategy says the company is insulated because these are not discretionary business spends, but required spend to weather the pandemic.